Hello, Miami. This is 305 Sports Now, your home podcast and channel for all things Miami sports related. I am Will, and I'm bringing this podcast today because now the Miami Hurricanes are down two coordinators, as now they have a vacancy for their offensive and defensive coordinator position, as it was reported today that Kevin Steele, after one season with the Canes, decides to go back to the SEC and reunite for a third time with Nick Saban and coordinate the defense of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, I have to be honest with you, I was shocked. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you that Steele's leaving for Alabama. But I really don't blame him. Okay, Alabama finished this past season with a record of 10-2. He's more of an SEC guy, you will say, because of the fact his coaching record, with Auburn and then of course Alabama as well, so he's kind of fond of the SEC. And Alabama also had a top recruiting class this season with a heavy emphasis on the defensive side of the ball. Basically, half of the recruits come from defense. So Kevin Steele, decided to make a career move and decide to coach with Coach Saban and coach the Crimson Tide. Okay, so a few names that I've heard as potential replacements for Kevin Steele, and this is from what I've seen online and also from what I've seen in the podcast sphere, as well, are names like co-DC over at Georgia, Glenn Schumann, who was a candidate last year for the defensive coordinator position at Miami. Doug Belk, defensive coordinator over for Houston, another candidate last year. And a guy that I really do like, okay, as just because I love his blitz packages, the former DC over at Wisconsin, Mr. Jim Leonard. But for me, there's only one guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, there's only one guy that I think should have this job, deserves this job, and if he wants it, should take this job. And that's Charlie Strong, right? I think Charlie Strong should be, the new defensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricanes, as he is currently serving as co-defensive coordinator, or was serving as co-defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the University of Miami. I always felt that, you having a guy like Charlie Strong, if Kevin Steele was to resign, or leave the university for whatever reason, the shoo-in would be Charlie Strong would just come in and be the replacement for Coach Steele. And I love Charlie. I'll be very honest with you. Okay. Charlie has an amazing resume. He's 62 years old, but if you hear his interviews and you see him on the field, it's like he's still in his late 30s, early 40s. He's a ball of energy. Is Coach Strong, right? He's former DC, over at Florida. He was interim head coach after Ron Zook was let go for Florida as well. He was kept on by Urban Meyer, won 2 national championships with Coach Meyer as well. Goes on to Louisville, all right, and wins a couple Big East championships over at Louisville. Then goes to Texas. Wasn't a very good experience for him at Texas. I do feel that he was kind of screwed. I don't think the boosters really liked him that much, to be honest with you. So he was let go, goes to USF, okay, and it's USF, so it didn't work out for him there. And then, was assistant head coach over at the Jacksonville Jaguars before he was brought in as linebacker coach and also co-defensive coordinator for your University of Miami Hurricanes. Okay, so why Charlie Strong? But first of all, schematically, the guy's a beast. Okay, he's called national championship defenses. He's always been a very good play caller on defense, whether it was in South Carolina, whether it was in Florida, whether it was in Louisville, all right, as well. And so he's been very successful. He's a great recruiter. So something that Mario does value from his coaches is recruiting, and Mario and Charlie Strong is an amazing recruiter. All the linebackers that we're excited about coming in to play for the U this year, like Raul Aguirre and Malik Bryan and one half of the Washington brothers, they all owe the recruitment to Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong is the one that closed the deal and got him over to the University of Miami. Understands the South Florida players very well, recruits this area very well. Even when he was coaching over Kentucky, his main hotspot and half his team, if not more, were part of South Florida. Okay, we're South Florida guys like Michael Lee Harris and Teddy Bridgewater and James Burgess. Okay, those are all South Florida guys. So Charlie Strong, number one, great play caller. Number two, great in schematics, and number three, a hell of a recruiter. Okay, so for me, there's no guy that deserves and should have this position as D coordinator more than Charlie Strong. I think it should be an easy transition. He can still coach linebackers, all right, as well, but be the sole play caller, for the Miami Hurricanes as far as the defense goes. And you will see an improvement on defense. I wasn't um completely against, if they were to fire, Kevin Steele. I was curious to see what he would do with guys brought in, because I did see some spurts, my opinion, guys, okay, over there. I did see some spurts that this defense could be good. At one point, Miami did have one of the best run defenses in the ACC. We saw the front four do very well. Guys like Mesidor and Taylor, as well, and Harvey, and then we saw some improvements on the linebackers. Like Corey Flagg took a step up in my opinion. As well. So I did see some. Cam Kitchens was the first team All-American. So I did see some shades that, with the right guys and the right personnel, Kevin Steele's a defense might work, but nonetheless, he's gone. Okay, he's gone. And I do think, with the guys that we have this year that have been brought over by this coaching staff, as far as recruiting goes, the defense should be greatly improved, especially with the incoming linebackers and pass rushers. And of course, obviously, the cornerbacks that we've also recruited as well. So I hope that Charlie Strong gets a job. He's the one guy I think should have the job, deserves the job, and I think he will get the job. I do think, I'm not, like I said it before, I'm not in Mario's head, but I do think it's a slam dunk and a no-brainer to pretty much get a guy with head coaching experience, understands the athletes, in South Florida, understands his players, can communicate with the players, communicate with the staff very well, and communicate with parents when he's out there recruiting. Okay, so Charlie Strong, my number one guy. I know a lot of fans out there, I've been seeing what I've been reading and hearing is that, it's pretty much 70-30 in favor of bringing, of promoting Charlie Strong and making him the sole play caller for the Miami Hurricanes defense. All right, everybody, that's it. That's just my point of view, straight to the point as usual. Again, for 305 Sports Now, I am Will. If you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe. God bless. See you soon, and go Canes.